Hi guys, welcome back to ECA to Student Paramedic. Hi, I'm Freyja and I'm here to basically discuss all my ins and outs of what's happening with me as I transition from an ECA to a Student Paramedic and beyond, I hope. So I started my year 3 last week of the university degree of honours for my paramedic training. The last 2 years haven't been so bad through the assignments and the OSCEs. A couple of assignments I had to redo because I hadn't quite passed. An OSCE I couldn't do, I didn't pass, and then I passed again, so that's fine. I think that's the way my brain works. You know, I have to preload or pre-learn before I learn, and then my brain knows what to learn in order to learn it. Does that make sense? That's the ASD or the ADHD or whatever it is. I can't remember what part, but that's my learning problem. So our first meetup of our year 3 was by video. We didn't actually go to Bridgewater, so I was on my own home for the first 4 or 5 days. We went through what to expect in the first part of the third year, and the first part is learning how to do a dissertation. A dissertation? Are you sure? Now? As soon as I hear the word dissertation, I am absolutely terrified. I have absolutely no idea what to do. What is a dissertation? Freya, you can do this. This is what a dissertation is. So it's a structured way of writing our findings for the 5-paper literature review. As you see, we have a methodology, we have introductions, we have discussions, we have conclusions, but not in that order, of course, etc. So it has to be quite a structured way. So my first thought was, I don't know what to do, I don't know what I'm doing, how do I do it? However, the university helps you there. In the first couple of days, they talk about what is the subject area you're interested in. You know, there's so many areas in medical which might be able to help us as paramedics on the road. And there may be a change that we can do to the paramedic practice in order to help us better helping with our patients. Or there could be something completely new that we could add to our practice in order to help the patients on the road. So my dissertation, I had about 6 or 7 different ideas overall, and I picked up one. I thought, no, that doesn't sound so good, and that one, or many people have done this one. In the end, I decided to go for a subject area, which I will disclose later, but not on this video. Then it's like, how am I going to make this question out of the subject area I'm interested in? And we have to use something called PICO. That's population, that's intervention, comparison, and outcome. For my dissertation, for my question, I only need to use the P, I, and O because I haven't got anything to compare it with. Then after that, I need to do a search for anything which is related to my question. We use online, we use OneSearch, which is the university's library of academic paper, I suppose. There's also PubMed, you've also got Google Scholar, you've also got a whole range of different libraries which you can choose from. As you notice that when you do a question, you then have to narrow it down. So you use a Boolean type of question. So you'll say, I want to have this subject and this subject and this subject, but not this one or this one, and then you do a search on the advanced search for that. That might come up with 3,000-4,000 papers, and to be honest, looking through 3,000 or 4,000 papers not only is time consuming, you just don't have the time for it, and there's no point. So you need to be able to knock it down even further. So again, you may change your searches to maybe have it in an English language, and then also change it to what the populace is going to be about. So add maybe if it's going to be elderly, if it's going to be young people, if it's going to be female, if it's going to be male, if it's a timeline. The timeline's really important because universities ask us to make sure that we get the most up-to-date information for our dissertation. for our lit review. Initially, I did it to about 10 years. At this current time of video, it's 2024. I would do a 2014 to 2024 for my 10-year search. That came out with too many thousands of papers still. So then I narrowed it down to 5 years. And in those 5 years, I had about 300 papers or so, which is good, from all different libraries. At that point, I would then look through all the abstracts of those papers and see if they actually match what I'm looking for and in the area I'm looking for. And that knocked it down to about 10 papers, which is perfect. After then, I read through every one of those 10 papers and I had to pick 5 of those papers for my dissertation. Currently, I'm at 6, so I'm still got one I'm not so sure about. But one you have to make sure is that you have to critically analyse each of those papers and to almost like let them fight each other off on the paper. So if one person says this is best, but another person says this is best, but however, in practice, this is best, you kind of fight them against each other. And I'm still learning this myself, so don't quote me if that's right or wrong, but that's how I think that's going to work out. I'll know later on when I actually read it through and then have a look at how the critical analysis is going to happen. Again, it's very, very, very new to me, and I can't even hazard a guess how I'm going to start this. But so far, what I've done is I have done my Pico. I've also put something down called a Prisma. It's a little made up sort of diagram of confirming the evidence of your searches, of how many searches you did to how many you excluded, and then it sort of drills down to the last 5 papers. And it just gives you an actual paper showing this is how I did it. So it's repeatable. So anyone else wants to do the search and prove where you got your papers from, that's part of the evidence behind it. Then, but to help me out, I've decided to put all my papers that I'm going to be lit reviewing into a spreadsheet, and I've decided that I'm going to create something called an Axis assessment tool, I think it's called. So I'll have these boxes in a spreadsheet, and I'll have along the top the names of the papers and the authors, and down the side I've got all the questions that I want to ask. The questions are going to come from either a qualitative or a quantitative CASP. And a CASP tool is another thing we use as well, and I'll show you here. From memory, I think I need to do a quantitative study on my lit review, meaning I'm going to have a look at all the numbers and that's been crunched, as it were, rather than a qualitative of how things happened and how the feeling of something happened. I think that's how it is. I'm not so sure. So my Axis diagram is going to have a quantitative CASP question for each of my 5 papers, and then from that, when I can extrapolate all the information and put it into that spreadsheet, the idea is then I should be able to quite easily pluck out the questions I need, have a look at them and go, well, this person says this is good, but this person says this is better. However, another study says actually they confirmed that this one was better. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. But this is only the first week. Oh my gosh. And I still got my ROP and my CAPS, which are the sign off or your clinical and your values. All through the day you can do all this with your paramedic to sign off. And I believe we've got some more papers to do, and I've got an OSCE to do, and it's all going to be done by November. So we have, think quick. We have 7 months to do all of that, and work, and have play when, and to have home time. So It's got to be doable. I mean, it is doable. People have done it already. But this is my anxiety that's carrying at the moment. I'm really anxious about trying to get everything on time. And when I can sit down and actually have a day where I'm thinking, I've done everything I want to do, and not feel bad about having a day off, that is very rare. And I'm finding I'm waking up in the morning and I'm thinking about my dissertation. I'm going to bed at night and I'm thinking about my dissertation, and I can see it's going to be chipping at me every single day until November. And the worst thing is, I believe my dissertation is going to be 2 days after my birthday in November. So I am not going to enjoy my birthday as much as I was hoping to. So I'm going to try and get it done even earlier so I can at least sort my birthday out. So that's what's happened so far. And yeah, it's kind of like a joyride in a fairground, which I'm not enjoying at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get there. Guys, if you've got any advice on dissertations or anything like that, then please, do pipe up and say, hey, Freyja, this is the way I did it. Or if you look here, this helps. There is a book that's been recommended by the University of Cumbria, and it's this one. And apparently it's supposed to be very good. Now, I have actually started reading through it, and to be honest, it does walk you through every part of the dissertation. But if you're like me, reading, it doesn't really get it in there. I've got to physically watch something in order to remember what to do. So this is a good start, but I'm going to be looking on YouTube as well just to walk me through a little bit more. And I also have a mentor, a tutor, that's going to help as well. So Helen Aviard, doing a literature review in health and social care, practical guide, comes recommended. Anyone who is doing a dissertation and wants a little bit of an idea of what to read and how to do it, this is one of the books that's been recommended. I shall leave you with that. I'm about to pop off to station now to start my shift in about an hour. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope this has helped a little bit. You guys who may be starting your dissertations as well, or you're still in your first or second years and this is something that's going to come up in your third year. So yeah, let me know how you get on, and see if I'm blowing things out of proportion, if I'm making mountains out of molehills or not. Take care, see you later, bye bye for now.